Sabi ni Diana sa akin, I want to expand Mommy N, but I lack capital. Now, are you asking the same question? This was actually the same question I asked for 40 years, and the answer I got was, has always been, the wrong answer. It was only after 30 years that I finally got it right. Would you want to hear my story? Okay, well, as we were growing up, we were always short on money. And I heard my father say again and again that if there's not enough money, kung kulang ang pera sa negosyo, then utang is the solution. So yun yung strategy na sinunod niya. Noong umpisa, he ran into all sorts of problems. By the way, he was a teacher and he resigned from being a teacher tapos nagnegosyo siya. So he ran into all sorts of problems that led to his bankruptcy in some of the business that he started. When he was already in his 50s, nag-umpisa na naman siya. Dahil na-bankrupt kasi siya, at a certain point, he had to go back to teaching. But then, nung mga 50 na, mga 50 plus na siya, hindi pa rin siya mapigilan. So, nag-umpisa na naman siya ng business. And, ginawa niya na naman yung utang-utang na yon. But this time, yung kanyang utang strategy, nag-work out very well for him. So, sabi ko nga, he was a teacher who failed in business again and again, resorted to utang, and eventually, after lots of trial and error, yung kanyang negosyo nag-succeed. And then he was able to pay off lahat ng utang niya. Yung inumpisahan niya noon, ngayon is one of the biggest poultry farms in the whole of Zamboanga City. Of course, he's no longer alive. It's now my brother and some of my siblings running it. But that was my first exposure to business. And dahil si Papa ay ang aking first teacher, syempre nakikinig ako at naniniwala ako sa lahat ng tinuturo niya, ng tinuro niya noon as I was growing up. And I guess, etong belief na to was one of them. Utang is the way. After all, unlike other people na mangungutang para bumili ng sala set, para bumili ng kung ano-ano, sa amin, yung utang ginagamit ni Papa sa negosyo. So sabi niya, always live a frugal life. Kaya frugal naman kami, hindi naman kami pala branded hanggang ngayon. And all the utangs talagang napunta sa business at sa business expansion. So other than utang, natutunan ko rin sa kanya is frugality and simplicity, as well as persistence. So yun yung mga values that we were brought up in. And so, as a teacher na naging businesswoman din tulad ni Papa, when our own business would be struggling, utang was my only solution. Now, do you have that tendency as well? I hope not. Because as years went by, this strategy na utang, it brought me deeper and deeper into debt. Palaki ng palaki yung utang namin. Until the point when yung utang namin became 3 times already more than what our business was worth. And at that time, when I realized it, that was when I hit rock bottom. At that point, my life was in a big, big mess. I worked harder and harder each day as our utang became bigger and bigger each day. Yung mga anak ko, wala na akong oras para sa kanila, kaya they were having their own problems. And some of my mga kapatid, they did not want to have anything to do with me. Kasi takot sila na baka madamay sila sa utang ko. Now, even my husband was about to leave me at a certain point because of our non-stop fighting over our money situation. At that moment, wala na akong maisip na any other way of escape from the situation, from that big utang that I was in. So para ma-alleviate lang, makaluwang-luwang lang ng konti yung aming tight money situation, and para sa aking mga anak, sabi ko, the only way out is to take my own life. Kasi I was insured, and therefore I thought if I could make it appear that I died of natural causes, then I might be able to get some insurance money. Yun lang ang naisip ko, huwag niyo akong gagayahin kasi mali yun. Yun lang ang naisip ko, wala nang iba kasi wala na akong matakbuhan. Yes, I tried. I tried not just once, but many, many times kung I tried successively in a month na I tried to take my own life. And ang nakakainis is just like how I was a failure in my business that time, failure din ako. I was more of a failure in those plans that I had of taking my own life. Naalala ko very clearly. I can always remember that specific day. It was an August. Talagang walang-wala na, I hit rock bottom and finally I surrendered. Hindi ko na ikikwento yung details, but at a certain point na parang sabi ko, ayoko na Lord, kasi hindi mo naman ako kinukuha I tried na so many times. So if you really want me to be here, if you really have a mission for me, then yan, ayusin mo tong gulo na to dahil hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko. And that was when I felt His amazing grace. I believe that it was at that point that things turned around for me. Yung single moment na yon where He saved not only my life, my marriage, my relationships, my family, and also my businesses. Ito yung mga lessons na natutunan ko doon sa mga painful years na yon. Firstly, utang is not the only solution. In fact, there are many other better and easier solutions. And utang must be the last resort. Kaya ngayon, last resort talaga yung pangungutang para sa amin at ng mga anak ko. So, going back to our business, before considering utang as the way to expand it, remember to ask yourself these questions. Ulitin ko, no? A, what is my business model? Who are we about? What is our value proposition? How should we communicate and bond with our customers? How will we deliver on our promise? Ano ba yung ating promise sa ating mga customers? Ano yung ating sources of revenue? At ano yung ating mga costs? Dapat very clear sa ating mind yan. And what we use is always the business model canvas or yung gawa ng aking mentor na si Josiah Go, the Man-Smith Business Model Map. So that is something that you can use. Letter B, na-maximize ko na ba yung aking sales? Is there any way I can sell more? Tanungin yung sarili nyo, baka pwede pa. There are so many ways to sell more if you can only focus on it. If you're no longer focused on paying your utang. Letter C, are you selling at the right price or are your prices too low? Letter D, where am I spending more than I should? Where can I cut costs? Letter E, are my people competent and do I have systems in place to make sure that they stay that way? Na yung kanilang competencies, fino-focus natin. Letter F, is my marketing, meaning the 4 Ps, are they working? And letter G, one of the most important things I want you to focus on is, am I watching my numbers? Now, watching this video, if you have gone up to this point, tapos without doing the exercises of reflecting on these questions, sayang yung oras natin. So, I'll put all of these questions in case na hindi nyo nalista, hindi nyo na-copy, or hindi nyo na-take down. What I'll do is I'll put these questions below so you can find some time to reflect on this. Please do this for me. Please do this for you. Please do this for your family. So, sit down with your team if you have a team to answer all of these questions.